Hello, this is Cynthia Anna Henderson, Anderson County, South Carolina State Assembly. This is a recoup of Anna von Reitz, March 14th, 2022. Their title is O Believers, Exposing the Fraud and Bringing Forth Remedy. It's been a very busy week, got a lot accomplished this week. The UN New World Order Directive came to me from the Central Bank of the Philippines. I sent a response so that they don't assume that we acquiesce. The UN is a storefront, same as the Catholic Church and the Pope. UN Corporation using the UN as a good faith organization with an evil heart, the UN Corporation. The corporation came first. 2 years later, it merged with the UN organization. This stems from the British family, the British royal family, the Saxon House of Wettin, and the UN Corporation, which was originally from a France origin. They have a history of funding the Nazi agenda, currently endorsing the Nazi agenda. We need to research the UN Corp and find out what their current charter is and challenge the country who is endorsing currently. I'm not sure that it is France at this point. House of Wettin is a private organization, harder to bring down, but we will still need to attempt. The Bank of England is involved in this mix. I don't believe it will be long till rational people demand remedy and stoppage of their mischief. New subject, accounting. This is talking about the national debt for the 209 countries. Occurring as we speak, this is the debt of 209 countries being balanced. Countries are waking up, realizing that this debt is a bookkeeping mirage. Time frame, it's not an easy task. It will take some time, does not affect anything having to do with our receiving any money. New topic, big notice to courts calling for dissolvement of all corporations. They belong to us, all these corporations. Some deserve this. One's involved in criminal activity, working side by side with our military. The military acting as a rogue mercenary unit, seizing power and authority they did not have. They forgot about the Federation and the Republic. They are a private government that works for us. We, the Republic, the public government, which has full authority over we are the public government, and we have full authority over the private government. They are now waking up, realizing that they are employees of the public government. Their money received comes from us. We are sovereign. They are not. They are actually working for us. Now, Anna has given an answer back about the corporations being dissolved, and she has given me a list of the corporations that she has put as to be liquidated to this point. Now, this list may get bigger because we don't know everybody involved, but these are companies that absolutely have to be absolved. And if you have money in any of these, it would be a good idea to get your money liquidated out of it as soon as possible, because when this goes to court, these people are going to lose any standing whatsoever. They're going to be liquidated. The Bill and Melinda Gates Institute Foundation, Bill Gates Third Inc., Purebright Institute, the Wellcome Trust, Microsoft Inc., DARPA Inc., DOD Inc., NATO, BlackRock, Vanguard, Circo, and that's CIRCO, BBC, State Street, The Who, Halliburton, the CDC, the NIH, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Bayer, AstraZeneca, Monsanto, CBS, NBC, ABC, Google, Facebook Inc., State of Delaware Inc., PayPal Inc., Government of Ukraine Inc., Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Ukraine Inc., Bank of Canada Inc., Governor of Ottawa Inc., Justin Trudeau, Inc., the AMA, and also with the AMA, those are initials. This is a different company, but running under the same game, like the two separate governments. One's municipal, one's territorial. Okay, so we've got the AMA, and we also have the American Medical Association. AIG, the U.S. Congress. Now, these people, uppercase and lowercase. British Crown, UN, Elizabeth II, Inc., Francionas, Incorporate. World Economic Forum, the Trilateral Commission, Committee of Rome, and any other commissions endorsing, supporting biological weapons or forced eugenics. These are the enemy. I'm sorry, they need stopped, and this is how we stop all their dirty business. Case is going good. Many eyewitnesses, whistleblowers, expert witnesses, depositions showing true claims, many people stepping up to defend our right to life, people who would not participate in their madness. This fraud and madness has been passed down through the generations to harm humanity. The bad people have no remorse and have been through indoctrination by their own families to believe acceptance and that treating humanity this way is acceptable and basically good for the overall good of our world. These people become part of who they're trying to destroy and make public opinion through fake news and allowing only their desired narrative to be emulated, creating elitism, prejudice, racism, division between the sexes, etc. Manipulation tools in action. Be smart. Mainstream media is there to manipulate the masses' minds. Trusting our government, who is not our government, manipulating our mindset. All these corporations are included in the territorial or municipal governments. Now, add who's in charge, the Queen and the Pope, a foreign entity. Does this change your perception of how to interpret all the events surrounding you now? No one ever told you that you were going to their public schools. This is just an example. Not your public schools, teaching only what, not your public schools, but their public schools, acting as your public schools, teaching only what benefits their manipulation, indoctrination, and making all their actions look good and righteous, all the time dumbing down students and not even teaching students basic living skills, influencing their agendas on every grade level. Deep indoctrination from early on. This is just one example. Churches start at birth. School doesn't start until you're 4 or 5, but churches start at birth. Look at the toys being produced. There are millions of examples. They have tainted our entire existence on every level. These are all Roman games. They're teaching all to divide and conquer, pushing superiority of someone over another. We all need each other, unity, no more Roman games. Now we need the people against the corporations. No one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves. After realization of the fraud and our deception, we absolutely have to prevent their continuation of dirty deeds. History has been at this point several times in the past History has been at this point several times over the past 2 generations. Of every time that it's come to this point, people have forgotten, and except not the deep state, they haven't forgotten. They wait for the people to forget, and then they allow the cycle to start again. This time, we make all public, use a big gong, and wake all people up, expecting all people to know events, truth, and history. We cannot allow this to continue. They have been doing this for thousands of years. Their generations wait for the opportunity to seize any power, authority, to demise society and enrich their own pockets for their people. The learning process has not been developed into society. It was like people wanted to cover up what was going on. Why did they do this? Because people don't want them to be mad at them. Calling out the people involved, the church, the schools, the government. The average Joe believes in these institutes. However, what they believe, the facts based on, are lies, fraud, division, manipulation, and so much more. And basically, we let it happen over and over and over again. End of that topic. New topic. Why is Anna the fiduciary? I was there, doing the job, playing the part, taking action, enacting our missing government. I never sought this position. However, our Creator put me in that position to identify the fraud of two foreign governments that assumed our identity and power. Start representing the people. Our republic, who was stepping up and claiming our rights and denying all the foreign government assumptions. It made us present and accounted for, declaring that we would reconstruct our actual government, missing the last 160 years, bringing to light all the fraud, cheating, the public misuse of our money, abusing us in everyday life, in every kind of instance that you can imagine, brought to light who was in charge and calling all the shots. Who owns the corporation governments? The Queen and the Pope. Actually, the Pope owns both governments, and the Queen, she oversees the Commonwealth only. So she's like in charge of the territorial, but the Pope owns everything. All given notice of events were uncovered 2004 to 2006. 2008, some restitution, due process to serve the people that weren't doing their job right. We actually gained that ability in court. The papacy was notified and the courts were notified. Thousands pieces of mail sent in notices and processes done to try and deal with it on a level that, like, if you have a complaint with a corporation, you go to that corporation. But then the corporation is not who's really in charge. So you have to go to the people who are really in charge. First, she went to the Queen. She made, found out everything about the Queen. Well, the Queen is not in charge. She's just an overseer. So had to go to the papacy and actually deal with the Pope himself. So she created that. In 2010, new postal treaty was made that made a remedy for Americans and set the postmaster situation straight for the Americans. 2011, a UCC file, this all has to do with her being fiduciary. 2011 UCC filing was brought to her attention, claimed this is a private individual who did this on his own, and he claimed his estate as a living man. The estate was involved in the municipal government. He reclaimed and correction of the true creditor. The light bulb went off in Anna's head. We needed to claim our status. This led to the claim I filed in the UCC for entire country. Every single living man and woman and all assets included. I posted my irrevocable will. It's put on a public forum that all people in America can come forward to this claim. It cannot be revoked. I did this on behalf of all of the people in America, and it even covers the world. The corporation are bankrupt. The reason why she had to do this is she realized why this man had put his life on the line to make this claim. And it was because they had filed bankruptcy and were going to strip us of all our assets and even the titles to our soul, our body, everything. This process would have foreclosed in 2015 and all would have lost opportunity to claim your status and assets. I kept the door open so that you would have an opportunity. During his term, Obama announced that all the corporations would use public utility name. That's the all caps name with the initial. What kind of significance was this? Now, the American people were not notified, wouldn't have any clue of this, but it triggered the announcement to everybody in government and who is, attuned to all of their fraud and their garbage, that they were going to go for bankruptcy again. But what does that mean to them? They're just going to change the pocket that they get money out of. So they're going to take all of the assets of all of the people in the bankruptcy and then switch pockets to gain access to different money. But people unaware of this significance. It was just another attempt to defraud the people and steal our assets. Number one article on my blog is notices to the church of everything that she found, all the details and events of the Queen, the Pope, and everything. 68 pages long, identifying all events and authority abuses, dynamics of the foreign governments. Are they just bad guys, or are they pagan Babylon sect? Good guys were afraid of what would happen if they came forward. How did I find out some of the information, most of the information that was needed to continue to go down this rabbit hole? Good guys were dying. They came through with the truth and informed me of what was going on. But they never did that until they knew that they were dying from something that they couldn't recover from. They didn't want to deal with the deep state putting pressure on them and possibly assassinating them. The Inquisition is still functioning. It's run by the Dominicans. It's called the IRS, or the Internal Revenue Service. The Dominican Order, sorry. These are two separate entities. How do you identify who somebody is? By their title, their patch, their ID. They keep their identity secret. The Dominican Order is run by the Roman Catholic Church. They use their Roman law courts to pursue our not bending to their will, paying taxes that are voluntary to start with. They tell everyone, if you don't have a Social Security number, you can't get a job. No, that's false. That's a lie. No tax reporting info, you can't get a loan. No, that's false, and that's a lie. Truth is, you have no need for a loan. Give me my national credit, and I'll be rich beyond my wildest dreams, and I don't have to bother you ever again. Social Security, a trick to pay the pension for the municipal government employees. They actually spent all of Social Security funds on what they wanted and are claiming Social Security bankrupt. However, the national credit hasn't been applied because they want to steal that too. Now, how this is coming about, and we're going to talk about a little bit of history because this has to do with the World Trust and the money that is behind all of these people. The history of the trust, the history of the church and the World Trust. 800 AD. The king, Philip the Short, gives land to just the Pope. He now has standing. It was a religion. Now it converts to the Kingdom of Franconia, considered a country, the Holy Roman Empire, created and ruled by a king. But that still wasn't good enough because kings are on land jurisdiction. Well, the first emperor was Charlemagne. What did they do? They switched jurisdictions because it suited them better. This lasted for 1,000 years. 1800 AD, Pfizer of Wilhelm II, Emperor of Germany. Emperor's jurisdiction. Heir, Napoleon, he's an emperor. Japan, emperor. Switched jurisdictions to heir to be under the Holy Roman Empire. Kings operate in jurisdiction of the land, except one exception, the British monarch. They have no land. They only oversee the Commonwealth of the Pope, Holy Roman Empire, which he owns. Kings grant Commonwealth property, called land charters, gifts of land to church developed with slave labor force, used supposedly for the people. Unfortunately, little goes to the people and more goes to the church pockets. So in this, John I, he had a grandson named William. He had plans to destroy the British monarchy. It was brilliant, draconian, and brutal, but it worked. He wanted them to have no land, no standing, and limited power because they cannot claim being king without land. He did this so that there would be no English king would be able to challenge France. John was only a king because he owned land in France. Some very clever sovereign people made up the Pact Magna Carta to ensure the rightful laws established stood for 1,000 years and still are active. William rewarded all of his loyal barons with lands and made them all kings. Queen Elizabeth II isn't a monarch because she owns no land and operates in the jurisdiction of the sea, which is her actual claim to be royal is Windsor affiliation, which is proven to not be her real name. She is operating on the sea. The Admiralty law is gained by the ports attached to the land. The law of the sea is satanic. It's called the landing of Satan. Use of the ports to gain access. Scottish sailors call ports devils. She has no standing on the land or attachment to the land. This brings us to the gold full circle. Enough to pay to repair the world and pay everybody's debt in this entire world. 1% receive benefit from the world's gold. There's 4 big assets in the world, and it's 4 different hoards. The first one is the Egyptian, Greek, Spanish hoard, the American hoard, the Asian hoard, which is like China, Laos, and Burma, and then the Prussian Russia hoard. King Wilhelm took Prussia and Russian gold and gave to his nephew, Tsar Nicholas. Nicholas was not involved in World War I, and his gold for his country was deposited in the Bank of England. Well, when Wilhelm gave him the gold to hold for him for Russia, he also deposited into the Bank of England for safety. The Bank of England, owned by the Rothschilds, sent mercenaries to kill Nicholas and claimed 10 billion metric tons of gold. Rothschilds financed the Russian invasion and war and the assassination of Tsar Nicholas and his entire family to obtain the gold through assumption of being abandoned. The central bank had their own mercenaries during the Boer War, World War I, and the Second World War. They had agents in the field pulling gold out of the soldiers' and civilians' teeth after they were killed. They did this in all the concentration camps. The happy ending? All the gold being DNA identified and being sent back to the original countries of origin. Definitely a blessing from God to recover and remunerate all these assets. The bank. We are pushing forward, holding their feet to the fire, especially J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and J.P. Morgan Chase. These are 2 different entities. The Federal Reserve System went bankrupt, gave the above entities the name as an asset to dissolve their bankruptcy, allowing them to act as the Federal Reserve, acting as the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. They changed the name up a little bit, but they continued to do the job of the Federal Reserve, acting as a representative of the municipal government. They obtained 1 million ton metric gold, awarded by the Philippine government, holders of our money through Ferdinand Marcos, authorized as a trustee. He hired the Federal Reserve to act as American designated spenders on our behalf. We are currently collecting on this and are currently in court to make the claim. Commercial banks have all been bankrupt since 1930. We are in court now to establish control of them all. We are continuing to pursue obtaining a pipeline to access our money. The process is huge. We are making headway, but the process is absolutely astronomical. An analogy would be like a 4-foot pipe to a 4-inch pipe to where we can actually drink from it. Many claims to the money left deposited in the Philippines, all Marco's relatives. These claims are all bogus, but each one has to be addressed individually. He had no authority to give access to anyone. He appointed the Committee of 300 full access to act as trustees for Americans without authority. The Committee of 300 is the 1% elites of the world, including the Queen, Pope, Lord Mayor, and Rothschilds, etc. We have in our possession 3 of the hordes under one roof in our possession. We, the Americans, will be responsible to distribute this gold to all countries. We do not have the Prussian Russia gold, but I believe Putin is dealing with the hoard of gold and is in possession. Russia has started declaring their land and soil status. She believes he also has the gold. Because his government is going forward very fast right now. So donations, please continue to donate. We have no cash flow yet. Even though I am fiduciary, I can't in good conscience use the people's money to pay my own expenses. I am working for everyone, but I will not use the people's money to cover the expense of my mission. I'm using my own money and my inheritance to cover the mission God gave me. I cannot pay myself to be a fiduciary because this is my fight. So I will continue to volunteer all my services. So please donate and help the cause. We have enough assets to take care of everyone on this planet. We are the caretakers of this planet. Soon we will make all happy, safe, and abundant. Stand strong, have faith, and be patient till all the details work out. Remember, the banking systems have been working as pirates. They don't want to cooperate because they lose their access to cheat us anymore. But we have standing, and it's been proven in court and in the law statutes, their law. So the bank will have to change practice or be liquidated. More corporations to add to our list of liquidations. This is about Anna's name and how it worked out that this worked to her benefit. And you can tell that this is, her mission was planned long before she actually got her mission. In 1855, her great-great-great-grandfather set up a protection for her future work and mission God gave me. Anna Reitzinger, Ritzinger. It's made up. It's a trademark name, so no one could challenge as a copyright. Copyright cannot challenge a trademark. No title entitlement systems of the British Crown cannot attach or claim. Hopefully people get shook up with this history to get involved. All countries eligible for gold disbursement, all they need is their bilateral bank set up and a public government set up. We will continue to be open, honest, and forthright about history, events, and how it's affected our current situation. We will teach future generations about all that's happening to prevent future abuse. The trust, all of these trusts, they're money, but they're also care. Realizing that we are the benefactors, recipients, and the guardians. All people should benefit and ensure the next generation does too. Go to your happy place. Good night and God bless. It's been a pleasure. You have a good night. Thank you.